Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Awesome People. Of course, when I say good morning, it depends where in the world you are. I'm in the East Coast in Miami, and I appreciate you joining me wherever you are around the world. Most importantly, I hope that you're being healthy. I hope you're being kind and loving to the people who need your support the most right now. There's a lot of people that are going through a lot of shit. They're going through a lot of mental challenges, health challenges. If you are lucky enough to be healthy, if you're lucky enough to be happy, please, please, please spread that to the people who need it the most. This is the time that we need to all come together, be safe together, and practice social distancing. Today's guest is a very dear friend of mine, very talented friend of mine. What I admire him about most is not just his talents as a singer and a writer and a producer, but it is his humility. His name is Ali. He's one of the integral parts of the dynamic trio that is TM Bax, the hottest Persian group, in my opinion, in the entire world. And before I actually bring him onto the screen and we can talk for a little bit about what he's doing, how he's handling quarantine life, and how life is in his music world, I want to play a little clip of when TM Bax gave the people in Washington, D.C. the honor of coming on stage in front of about 1,500 people at Tyson's Beer Garden. Here's a little throwback to September 2017, when we had the pleasure of seeing this group live, and in general, we got to enjoy live music. Miss those days. We'll have him back soon. Let's play the clip.
زندگیمی داری کلی فدایی انقدر خوبی که از اون بدایی من مریضم تو واسم دوایی خدا قسمت کنه این دافه واسم جوشه لعنتی انقدر خوبه که باید سانسور شه زندگی خراب میکنه رافی بازی گوشه لعنتی انقدر خوبه که باید سانسور شه.
Wow, great memories from September of 2017 at Tyson's Beer Garden. And now I have the pleasure of introducing you to Alibi from TM Bax. What's up, homie?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
So great to see you, man. Good to see you
happy
healthy.
To be here, man. What?
Good to see you healthy.
Good to see you, man. Long time no see.
I know, man. Unfortunately, I haven't seen you in person since that beautiful night 3 years ago, but we've been keeping in touch. And I know you're always busy doing a lot of great stuff, but how are you handling quarantine life?
Bro, at first it was like scary, but long story short, I don't feel any difference, bro. I'm just in the studio 24/7. Like now I have a better excuse to not be social, I've always been a nerd in the studio, so like I'm in my comfort zone. I don't feel any like difference. I hear people complain a lot here and there, but like I've spent my time producing fire, and I can't wait to release it.
And you just kind of touched on it, yourself, but you are a very reserved individual. I find it very interesting whenever reserved individuals are such firecrackers on stage, because when you're on stage, you're a whole different person. So tell me about the dynamic of how you go from being, like you say, the studio nerd to all of a sudden like that's on stage. Like how does that come about? Where do you get that energy from when you get on stage?
Wow. Well, I mean, friends, actually that's not, I kind of have two personalities, and it depends on who we're talking about. I mean, it depends. Like my friends, they know one part of me, like one version of Alibi, and people who I've worked with, like you, they know another version of Alibi.
Yeah.
But I can be, I'm like two extremists. I'm this, Alibi can be this ADD person who can't sit still and jumps around, says dumb stuff, stupid stuff. Or at parties, sometimes I sit in the corner quiet, just observe people how they dance and just listen to the music, and people are like, who's that weirdo, you know? So but on stage, obviously that's me, like being full of energy, the the ADD version of Alibi.
Letting out all the creativity. It all just comes out, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the creativity is kind of a balance between these two versions, I would say.
If I ask your first grade teacher to describe Ali B, how would you describe 10-year-old Ali B?
Clown of the class. Yeah, yeah.
And then where did you first have like this affinity and love affair with music and wanting to play around with it and stuff like that? How early did that start?
Bro, like as far as I remember, like I've always been a friend of a piano or keyboard. It was always around wherever I went. It was like I kind of sound like you know, but it's true. Like I don't know, like my dad's friend used to have this piano, and every time we went on visit, I used to go in his room and play, and I just fell in love with it. I would say like 6, 7,
Was
and
it
I
was
just
it
like,
was it just piano, or were you one of those people of lover of all kinds of music, all kinds of instruments, and you were all over, or did you focus on the piano
no,
and that was it?
in the beginning I fell in love with the piano. That's how it started. And then you remember these like old Casio keyboards. I got one of my, like, for my birthday. I was around 8, 9. So it was just like that. I didn't think like of being like a producer or like, I was just like jamming. And then I loved soccer a lot, and it was around like mid-teen years. Nab, my brother, who was also a
Mm-hmm.
member of TM Bax,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly he got so professional, like, with his beat making, and I was like, okay, let's use a computer.
He's a couple years older than you, right?
He's 5 years older than me.
Okay.
So when I was like, so I started producing beats when I was around, when I were around 12, 13, I think.
And
Yeah.
first of all, for those who don't know, where were you like raised? Because I obviously you're Iranian, but you spent most of the time in Denmark, correct?
Yeah, I was born in Denmark,
Hmm.
Copenhagen, and
Okay.
then and then we moved back to Iran a couple of years because my dad was very a confused man, still is. And then we moved back to Denmark again. So I, like, most of my childhood, like young childhood, early childhood in Iran, and then my teens, I would say, very early teens in Denmark.
It's very interesting, and I'm very curious whether or not this had any influence on the style of music you play. But Denmark is home to some of the greatest house music DJs and just a
Yeah,
lot of talented producers.
definitely.
Like I don't know what's in the water in Denmark, but like is that just a coincidence that there's so many people there, or is there something about the culture in Denmark that is so much
That's a
about
very
this type of?
that's a good, to be honest with you, bro. Like we've also talked about this many times. I
Mm,
honestly feel like, first of all, Denmark is a great country. Like
mm,
Scandinavia, the
mm.
Scandinavia way of living is so simple, peaceful. Like, we got everything, man. Like the health system, welfare, like school system. This is, I would say, probably the best system in the
Nice.
entire world. So, with that being said, that means that we didn't suffer much growing up, other than like we dealt a little bit with racism and stuff. But that's a different story. But like
Racism towards you as Persian,
foreigners, like
perhaps.
Iranians,
Oh,
and yeah,
okay.
yeah, it was
Well,
hard.
tell
And
tell
we
tell
lived
tell
in
me
and
tell
we
me
and
tell me
my
tell me some examples, because I was born and raised in Germany, and when I
Okay,
was 9 years old, even though I spoke perfect German, because I mean, as
yeah,
far as I knew, I was German, right? I mean, obviously I was Persian, and I remember like Germans. One time, two of them, they took me to the bushes. They said they're gonna go play, and they just kind of like beat me up and stuff. So I
okay.
experienced it on my hand as an Iranian being born in Germany. Do you have any specific examples of how, or did it really affect you?
It's not like, it's this is not like, it's not one of those depressing stories. It's
Yeah.
but I mean, we we moved into this from outside it looked very beautiful, this green neighborhood, and this was our like early times in Denmark. We're like finally we're kind of Danish citizens, but my parents didn't know that this area was like a ghetto, something that I would call a ghetto. And ghetto here in Danish context, or I would say European context, means a place where a lot of Muslims live there. So there's like Arabs, Turks, Kurds, and so long story short, a lot of like criminals, drug dealers, and all that stuff you see in those kind of rough neighborhoods. So me and Nab, we grew up there.
And yeah, go ahead.
And like so we had this identity, like our area was called Nabro. It's not far away from here. So like we walked around, act tough, and we listened to rap and beefed a little bit with other like neighborhoods and stuff. But like so and I don't know, like I don't know much about like it's kind of like when people are scared of guys from Harlem, or you know what I mean? It's something like that. So you're laughing at me,
You
bro.
guys had, well, you guys had a little bit of swag, like
Yeah, we got
when you
swag,
got,
and of course,
yeah,
the people like so when they find out where you're from and the way you talk, we talk different, we
yeah,
act different, we listen to like it's the attitude is just different, and
yeah.
then when Danish people see that, it's like he's one of them, So
Well, it's so this actually now it all makes sense, because one thing that was always so interesting about TM Bax is the verbiage that you use in your lyrics, even
yeah,
just the name. Like, you guys don't come up with a regular Duset Daram song. Like the name
no,
is like always like Boale, or you
you're
have the
right,
new track Nico Pito, and like all these unique little things
you're right,
like that's your signature, like it's like
yeah,
there is no other TM Bax. And I think why I have always had such a great appreciation for you guys is because I always said, I was like, there is nobody like TM Bax. There's no
thank you,
way
bro,
that you can compare it to. I mean, like, and some people might not like it, but I'm just saying
of course,
you cannot say, oh, you know, Mr. TM Bax. No, there is nobody like TM Bax. They are unique in by itself,
yeah.
and now I see where the roots are. This makes complete sense, actually.
Yeah, yeah, and
It's your
and
upbringing.
you're the first person who points that out. That's interesting, but that's true, and we still do it. We still have that, in our baggage. You know what I mean? The attitude and like and creating your own language. I
Yeah.
love that. I remember like when I started at university, one time like my personality kind of switched, and I was this dude with glasses and a laptop, and I was like I became the smart Alibi, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then at one time we were just walking in the street, and I met the old dudes from my old neighborhood, like pants are sagging, like looking gangster, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's Alibi, yo, bro, how you doing, brother?" Like, all that homie talk, and like my Danish friend from university, he was like, "Look at me, who the hell are you, bro? Like, I don't know you." Like, it's like my personality switched, you know what I mean? I became more
Yeah.
G and yeah,
Yeah.
all that. So I
Well,
wasn't the nerd. Yeah.
but what's crazy is the fact that even though you guys had this, persona of a little bit of rough on the edges, I remember when I was first going to meet you guys in 2017, I had this impression of you guys because of the way you guys talk, walk, and the music. But then, like, when we got to know each other, all three of you are so humble, so down to earth, so anti-partying. Like, I remember, like, you guys
Yeah.
just wanted to go and have hookah, and so chill. Like, there was no interest for Dochtarbozi. There was
You know
nothing to
why,
ask.
bro? Do you know why? Because
No,
because
why?
because like, come on, man. Like, mm, imagine me with 10 of my brothers from
Yeah.
my neighborhood trying to get into a club. You think they allow us, bro? We were used to get rejected, and we still like. I swear to God.
So you
So we're
guys
like, fuck
almost
that,
feel
man.
like
We're not going clubbing anymore. They will never let us in.
so you guys
And
almost felt like outlaws.
kinda, hello. It wasn't like we weren't. We never did like. As far as I know, Nab wasn't like we weren't criminals, but like
Yeah. No, I
it
know.
was.
I'm
It
just
was.
joking.
Is our friends were though.
Yeah.
A lot of, unfortunately, a lot of our old friends, they got locked up in jail and chose the wrong path, unfortunately. But you know, when you're from the same neighborhood, they view you as the same. So, but I think that's why we're like, I don't know, bro. That was
It's
just a fun theory.
I mean, it's great though. But let me ask you. You just kind of like mentioned, you had friends got locked up. At certain points, I'm sure that you were tested, meaning like you could have gotten sucked in and go down the wrong
Yeah,
path. What do you think it was? Like, who was it that really pulled you guys together? Is that the Persian family part of it? Like,
yeah,
is that what?
definitely, bro. Definitely,
Tell me more about
very
it.
good
Yeah.
action. Very good question. Um, so when you live in like, obviously you know about it. Like when you live in a neighborhood like that, one thing you don't want to do is to stick out, like to be different. You want to be like the rest of the group. You want to be accepted. And our
Mm-hmm.
parents had no idea what happened in that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
They thought we just went out and played soccer and went back again. But
Mm-hmm.
we had like, I would say I'm the luckiest man because I had the best parents you could imagine. She was always like, my mom was always there for me, and my dad was, he worked hard, so I didn't get to see him much. But we were just like learn to be disciplined, you know, like finish school. These values were very important to us growing up. um you
It
know
would
what I
just
mean.
it would just it would just you and your brother. Do you have any other siblings?
I have one little sister.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And what did you study in college? Uni.
City planning,
City
urban
planning.
planning. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Dude, I have no idea. Like my like, I was like, you know how it is growing up in Persian house. They expect you to become a doctor, engineer. My grades were bad. I said, Mom, look, I can never become a doctor or engineer. She's like,
Yeah.
Hob, what is there? Any like any other like, you know, prestigeful jobs you can get? I don't know, Mom. I keep looking, and urban planning. I don't know. I guess sound, but you know, it was never me. I got my education master. I got my master, and I worked like,
You got it in city planning, or what did you
yeah,
get a
in city
master's in?
planning.
Wow, you went all the way to get your
I
master's, even though
promised
you
my
didn't like
mom
it.
I'll get an education,
Good
and
for you,
the
man.
funny
Good for
thing
you.
is, like during a lot of semesters, I was always out playing, and I never told anyone about it. So it's like kind of Hannah Montana thing. Um, with more swag. But then I finished, and I worked like for a small company for 4 or 5 months, and that was, we're talking now 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
You hated every moment, I'm
I
sure.
hated it, bro. Like I
Yeah.
tried to. That's a very interesting topic to talk about, and I want to teach my kids: don't lie to yourself. Like find your inner self, the true self. Like find what you like. You know, find your passion. Don't fake who you are. It's not like, you know what I mean. Like don't
Yeah.
try to like. I was trying to make my mama proud. You know.
Yeah, I mean, this is a challenge that especially a lot of immigrants and Middle Easterns and especially Iranians, I mean, and you can't even blame our parents, like they want what's best for us. And, sometimes when they think
Of
of what's
course.
best, they want stability. But, we live in a completely different world than our parents did 30, 50, 60 years ago, where there wasn't that many options either. Like we are now, the world is our oyster. Like we live in a very globalized world. We live in this world where we see so many people doing so many awesome things, and you're like, man, I want to do that. And at the same time,
Yeah.
there's challenges that come because they
Yeah.
set the bar so high, and there's a lot of fakeness out there too. So
Mm-hmm.
even some people that seem to be successful, they're not really happy. So my question to you is, what is your happy place? Is it the studio? What else makes you happy?
I swear to God, man, it's the studio.
So like when you go there, it's not work. You go there for release.
Dude, I like, as soon as I open the door, I can smell happiness.
Okay.
Like that's, it's like, I guess it's like Nav has a family with kids. I guess it's the same feeling when he comes home from touring and he haven't seen his kids. I don't have kids. I don't have anyone.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
open the door of my studio, I see my keyboard, the smell of the sweat and like old pizza, and that's my happiness,
That's your
bro.
family. That's your
That's
house.
my family. But
Man. How old
that's
are
my
you, Anthony?
comfort zone, I would say, definitely. It's not
How
on
old are you?
stage.
How old are you? If you don't mind asking.
31.
Nice. I'm 39. Very cool. I mean, so that's great. So you go to your happy place. What do you
Yeah,
like to do more, write music or make music?
I hate writing music. I think my
Eh.
yeah, I hate doing that. I don't like that. That's not my like best skill either.
Okay.
I think for me, I'm most comfortable when I produce beat making,
Mm-hmm.
music production. Yeah, I think that's what I was destined for. Like that's my main like job. And then the singing it came because I was like because I before I make music I always pictured it, visualize it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like who can do it better than me because I have it in my head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I start singing,
And
and
and the good
that
thing
wasn't a
is
bad idea.
the good thing, yeah, it was a great idea, man. You have a very unique voice too.
Thank you,
But
thank
the
you, buddy.
good thing, like I always have the same mentality that I'm like, man, if you want to get shit done, man, you just got to do it yourself, you know. And then you don't have to answer to anybody. You just do your own thing,
Yeah,
and it's clear that you decided to take the wheel and doing your own stuff. And you also have been venturing out and breaking into the international market, doing a lot of songs in the Danish market or international market.
yeah,
You had the Boale, which was a hit in Persian music too, and then you made
yeah.
the Danish version. So we're gonna take a little break and play the music video from Boale. And is there anything else you want to talk about the Boale video before we play it?
No. That was just they like we released it, and one of my good friends, he worked for Sony,
Uh
and
huh.
he
Yeah.
just introduced the song to them, and they loved it. They said we
Yeah.
want this dude, and
Well, let's
and
go.
and
Let's go.
here we are.
Let's go check it out. It's definitely a hit song
Let's
in
check it
Danish
out.
and in Persian. Go. All right, so we're back with the one and only Alibi from TM Bax. We've been having some great conversation, finding out more about the upbringing of Alibi, how he got his swag and the unique names of their tracks. It's all making sense now. All the things that I've been curious about for so long from this awesome trio, Alibi's explaining it. So thanks again for your time, homie. So you have a new
Thank you.
track out. Speaking of very unique names, what does Nico Pito mean?
Nikopito means Nist Kopieto. It's like a shortened way of saying that. It means
Yeah.
there is no copy of you.
Oh,
Or
nice.
it's kind of like it's a compliment, Nikopito. You're original, man. You're cool. You're dope.
And like these are just words that you guys just like when you guys are kicking it and talking about music together, like they just kind of randomly come up, like or just like a Danish thing, like it's where do these words come from?
Yeah, yeah. So like we talked about this, about like us growing up in this neighborhood where we created our own language, and it's funny, like the urban artists in Denmark and in general, as far as I know, in Europe, they keep doing that. They keep putting their culture in their music.
Mm.
So they say, like we have this very famous artist called Sivas, which is he's actually Persian too.
Mm-hmm.
No one understands what he's talking about in his music. They have no idea.
Is it
Like
Danish, but they can't understand?
Danish people can't understand at all. Like people
Wow, so
who
he's
live
made his own language.
his own language. That's what it is. And I mean, we kind of like try to like implement that culture in our music too, in Persian context. So we get inspirations, ideas out of conversations. Like something like Boale, مثلا, like I was just said, oh Boale, like Boale. Like that was a funny way to say it. Like, yeah, let's put that on a track. So that it can come up
Yeah,
like that, Nico
that's
Pito. I don't know. I said, I think I said to Nab, I liked. I think it would be nice to compliment the girl in the song as Copia Tony, but it's
mm,
not. It's too simple. It's too. How do you say? What's the word for it? Omyane, like it's too
basic.
formal. Yeah, it's too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said Nist Copito, Ni Copito. So it keeps changing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, so now that you mentioned Nabil, your brother, so there's the third member is Shaheen, who
Shine.
you guys are longtime friends. Tell me
Yeah.
about like the challenges of having a brotherhood and a friendship for many years that all of a sudden throughout the years builds up to what TM Bax has become.
Yeah.
where you know a relationship that is so brotherly and also friendship brotherly all of a sudden becomes a serious thing. You know, like how have you guys been able to
Yeah.
deal with these challenges?
Yeah. To be honest with you, from the outside, it seems like we're together 24/7. I mean, me and Nab, obviously, we're together many hours per day. Every day we are together in the studio, but we're also we don't. What people don't know is we don't do a lot of stuff together. Like we don't like go out together as much as we could. So we kind of have like he had his family, his friends. I have my like we don't mix like that.
Right.
And the same goes for Shine. I mean, sometimes we do like come together and do something, but most of the time, you know, he have his friends, I got mine, and like we do separate stuff. I think that's that could be good or bad. I think that's the good thing about it is that like it doesn't create many problems. Sometimes you can get tired of each other, you know.
Having a little distance and a breather could be a good thing. Do it at
Exactly,
the same.
bro. I think that's how we I think that's how we do it.
But like, would you say that as you guys kept on getting bigger and bigger, was there like, did you guys have to have conversations and be like, hey man, like, you know, we need to kind of like be professional and we have to separate the friendship and stuff. You know, like, did it come to the point where you guys were having these kind of conversations, or you just kind of went with the flow?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
That would be whack, I think, in my opinion. But it just happens naturally, you know. It just happens naturally.
What do you see TM Bax? Actually, in general, what I really want to know is your opinion about the state of Persian music as a whole, as an industry. You know, like where you know, let's just look at it as a business and like how like sport leagues, you know, they have their good years and down years. Right now, obviously, coronavirus aside, in general, what's your honest opinion about the Iranian market?
Yeah, good question. Oh, where can I start? I think one positive thing I can say about the Persian scene is that we're seeing a lot of like massive growth in the urban scene like never before, um and the urban sound right now in the Persian market, it sounds very professional. Like they know what they're doing. This is like everyone is like there. You see these small subcultures and subgenres. You know, like these these dudes. They know what they're doing, and it sounds amazing. I like that. I like that.
I mean,
Um,
you guys were trailblazers. I mean, they were influenced by you guys. There's no doubt
I
that
mean,
you guys
yeah.
had
If you
some
go
kind of.
like, I don't know how many years back, but we were like one of the influencers, like of the underground Persian music. You know the names Tatalu and Saucy, especially
Right.
other people like 2FM and so on, and TM Bax. So, but like, yeah, we're the like we I would call us like the internet artists. Like we came with this big wave. Like we just pushed our music on the internet, like blogs, like Rap Song, very underground, very messy, muddy sounds. Um, but and now you have like big media like RJ who like supports this music,
Right.
and like I'm happy to see people like it's so easy like to put your music out. Back then we didn't even know like we didn't have Instagram. Facebook came like later and we were bad at using it. People nowadays you see them they've grown up with social media and we're still trying to learn.
To catch up. Yes.
But it's easier today, I would say.
Who are you fans of from the new generation of artists, and not just necessarily urban, but like if like whose new music video when it comes out, do you like, oh man, I actually want to see what he or she are doing? Who do you respect? Who do you admire? Who do you see as like the next big things?
Before answering that question, I just want to make a comment on like I complimented the urban scene. Unfortunately, the pop scene is just very boring. Like we hear the same songs, the same melodies, the same genre, and someone has to do it. We need a change, and we're trying. We're one of those who are trying really hard. For your question, um, I don't like. I mean, you mean people who are out there, like known artists,
Yeah,
or
like who are you excited to hear about their next song, you know, or like curious, you know, like who are the ones like that when you're scrolling through your Instagram and you're like, oh well,
mm-hmm.
let's see what blah blah, and they could be friends of yours too,
Oh,
or they
okay,
could be
okay,
people that just whatever, just people that you like admire.
yeah. Actually, there are three rappers.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bezaleto.
Mm-hmm.
Is
He's killing it. Yeah.
he is killing it. Shaya and Hossein. Hossein is not very active, but
Mm-hmm.
kills it every time. And these are my three like most. You know what I mean? Like I have to like listen to what he have released. I'm very like yeah. So I would say it's only rap actually.
What about in general? You know, growing up, who were you like influenced by the most? Who was the person that you looked up to that like you would have loved to meet in person? Or
Uh
Hud
huh.
Kibud.
Yeah. MJ,
Okay.
big influencer. MJ and Tupac, Biggie.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's my generation.
Yeah,
This is good
Tupac
stuff over
Biggie.
here.
Remember, like, I don't know, like you're a little bit older than me, but like
Yeah.
I'm one of those who like I became a fan of Tupac and then later found out that he's dead. Unfortunately, I was like, what?
No way.
No way! I can't go to his concerts. You kidding me,
Oh,
bro? Yeah. So I was one of them.
yeah. By the
Like
way,
I think.
Biggie's dead too, in case you didn't know.
Thank you, Iman.
I'm just joking.
MJ, Tupac, Biggie, and then Bob Marley. In high school, I
Wow.
listened to Bob Marley a lot. That he's the only reggae artist that I listen to sometimes. I liked his singing. Bob Marley actually, like I love his voice, but he's like, he's so rough and like, it's not about aiming at the like the perfect tones, and he's just like, you know what I mean? So I was like, I can do it too. Like so in my early like teens where I start singing, I kind of sounded like in my head I sounded like Bob Marley because you know
Interesting.
yeah because like I can't sing like MJ.
Yeah.
That I need like many singing classes to do that. Um, but these two are my influences, MJ and Bob Marley.
Yeah, and Bob, Bob
Yeah,
Marley was a very soulful person. You know, he was a very deep, meaningful, like,
one
everything about
hundred,
him lyrically was,
100.
so him. I remember in one interview they asked him like, "Are you rich?" And he's like,
Yeah,
"Rich? What you mean rich? You know, like
yeah.
rich in life, like and like
What are you
that
talking
one,
about?
yeah,
Yeah,
that 1 minute interview is like so defining of Bob Marley, the
very wise
simple
man,
life, the
very
simple
wise
life.
man. Beautiful quotes, a
Yeah.
lot of good quotes. And then
Yeah.
in my like in the producer beat making zone,
Yeah.
I would say definitely Timbaland.
Oh
He
wow.
Yeah, and Dr. Dre too.
Okay.
But Timbaland, like because sometimes you can't define his style. Like Dr. Dre is straight up hip hop, West
Right.
Coast hip hop. You know what I mean? Timbaland, he fucks around with weird samples and creates hell of a weird vibes, and he's unpredictable. And
Is he still coming out with stuff recently too? Because I mean, he had his like prime time years,
yeah,
but
he's
is he
not in
still
his
doing stuff?
prime. I do follow him on Instagram, but I
Hmm.
haven't seen anything new like that. Maybe I'm not following enough. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah, definitely he's not in his prime right now. But
I
he inspired me a lot, and
I
I
I
still
I,
yeah.
I want, without being, sorry to cut you off, homie.
No.
Without being like a Debbie Downer, I want to kind of reflect on the world that we're living in right now and like how the coronavirus has kind of like slowed down the world tremendously. And um, I just want your opinion about how you think that the world will get back to normalcy. Because I mean, I know in your case, you're in the studio, so I guess for you, you're hunkered down. But I'm sure that you also, see that the whole world has kind of been put on pause. And I just love your take on how you think or when you think we'll be able to get back to a sense of normalcy, when you see yourselves getting back on stage and thousands of people being able to be in a room and partying. I mean, as an artist and a performer, that's probably something that you think about.
I mean, I don't know much about the situation in US. I think the wave unfortunately has arrived a little bit late to US. Like it's so like we saw, like we're watching the news, like we're all watching how bad it is for Italy. But as it is at the moment, we're almost about to go through that, through it. The prime minister was talking about opening up very, very soon.
Denmark.
In Denmark, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
So but I think the U.S. is a little bit behind, unfortunately. Like I'm talking about the coronavirus, the spread. But like I hope it's gonna take a couple of months. But the truth is, we're obviously never gonna get rid of it fully. I mean, the idea is just to like minimize the pressure on hospitals. But and a lot of us has like the virus without knowing. But I think I'll give it like I think we're gonna hear about it for the rest of the year. But and I'm like, one of my biggest fears is a new wave of virus. Because
like a second
wave, yeah. Some people are talking about it. Wow, I really hope not that's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, that's why the social distancing is so important. That's why everybody needs to just sit the hell home, so that we really do mitigate this entire process. Which is why every single time I have this episode, I want to make sure that everybody else is really doing that. Don't leave home for a while. Enjoy it and make the most out of it. When you talk to your artist friends, how are they being impacted, like from a financial standpoint? Like, are they like really? I mean, I'm sure it's hit them extremely hard. I mean, I have an entertainment company. I've been hit hard like crazy. So what's the buzz around the artists that you talk to? Or are they looking at it as like, hey, you know what? We get to be creative now with no pressure, nobody hitting us up, nobody bothering us.
No one is happy about the situation. I mean, like you can find the good in it, but everyone is suffering. I mean, at least everyone in my category. We're not talking about you name it, who have made millions throughout the years, but everyone is suffering. It's not easy. It's not easy.
What I want to do is to step it up a little bit and make it exciting and play one of my favorite TM Bax songs, which is Meshki Lebas. It was filmed in a bowling alley. I'm assuming in Denmark, or where did you guys film it?
Yeah, that was in Denmark. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna play Meshki Lebas, and then when we come back, every episode, I like to give my guests an opportunity to share with our viewers a message of hope, a message of positivity, a message of or just something that's near and dear and important to you. So if you don't mind, think about it. And we're going to play about a minute or so of Meshki Lebas. And we're going to come back with Alibi of TM Bax. Stick around.
شب اون شباست کلی یادم دور برم ولی دلم تنهاست دلم تنهاست عشقم فیکم باشه بره بیا به مشکیم بد شده با دل سیاد میشم موی بارباش باید دیفهمشی با مشکی لباس بگو شیمانش میکنیم اشتی اومد با بیس سنگین مش میکنیم پرستیج ما رقص ممنوع گردن و فقط لق میکنیم شب مال ماست آینای جلف کنسل ما فرق میکنیم اصلا ندارم حال هیچ کسی پس بگو دل تنگ شده واسه من عوضی با اون نگات هرچی بی واسه تو خرج میشه تو اونا گرمردی واسه قرد میشه خوبی به چه درد حکه یه ذره بعد باشی اینو ترجیح میدم تا اینکه با من سرد باشی اصاب ندارم ندارم حال.
All right, we're back, and apologies for cutting it off, but you know what? You guys are here to hear Alibi speak. You can always go check him out on TM Bax official on Instagram. Their music and music videos are all over YouTube and Radio Javon. Just look up and Dio2 and all these other sites. TM Bax. So before we went on a little music break, Alibi, I was asking you to basically talk about anything that either bothers you or things that you're passionate about. And off air, you mentioned stupid people on internet. The stage is all yours, my friend. What is it that irks you?
I don't know. Don't you get annoyed sometimes?
Well, I mean, I don't have people like. Are you talking about like trolls, like people just hate on you and stuff, or just
No, not that.
Oh, then what exactly?
We can talk about that too.
Okay.
I mean, like some people call them influencers.
Oh yeah.
Wow. But I mean, of course, let's not put everyone in the same category. There are
Sure.
some influencers out there,
Sure.
like they have good messages, and then there are the dumb people, stupid.
Yeah.
Like stupidity, you know what I mean? Like just bullshit, nonsense, emptiness. I'm tired of that. I'm really, and I'm also very tired of like normal people who are making these idiots famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, following all these.
And then like when you talk, you're like, why do you send me this crap? They're like,
right.
Bro, it's funny. It's not funny. Okay, but like it's not like I'm a fan of this person. I don't follow this person. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like you're spreading the content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that really upsets me about some of these people you're talking about is that, man, they have such a big platform and they waste it. They don't bring some value to this world, man.
But Iman, if you're saying they have big platform, everyone will like unfortunately we live in a time where I think everyone would unfollow these people if people want to see dumb shit. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. And that's why they have their platform. No one wants to hear about great like message or like no one wants to see art. No one cares about that. I mean, the majority. I'm very like negative right now, but you know what I mean.
So I mean, what are you hoping to accomplish as an artist? Like, what do you want to be known for when it's all said and done? Do you have an interest in having a legacy, and if so, what do you want it to be?
I want to make Persian dance music cool.
Well, man, you've already done that, dude.
I'm still trying.
Mission accomplished. But that's great. That's great that you say that.
But there's like think about it. I remember in the early like years of TM Bax, we have a lot of sad songs. We have a lot of underground rap songs, like all kinds of R&B. But as you know, we're very known for our dance music, up-tempo dance music. And obviously, what is dance music in a Persian context? That's like that's when it's the zarb, shishash, and a lot of people like in our, how to say it, like not our fan base, but in our style, like genre, they think that shit is whack. They think that's very whack. And to be honest, like that's not, it may not be the coolest rhythm. I mean, like look at like Latinos, they have their reggaeton, Jamaican, Caribbeans have like their dance hall music and Western dance genre, house music. Persians have like the shisha hasht, right? The zar. But but to many people that's like, and especially young people who embraced rap music, the subgenres, don't think that's cool. That's not a cool thing. And that's why I'm really trying to like implement that genre into like new styles, and create something totally new that everyone thinks it's cool. You know what I mean? Because if I release something without a Persian touch, without a Persian rhythm, Persians are not gonna like it.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, my goal is always to release something that everyone understands, something international. That's what we're about. Whether it's the song title, Nicopito, Boale, like I try to like come up with these cool names, and the rhythm and style also has to be cool.
So is it fair to say that when you actually create your music, you're creating it for a truly international audience, but you want to
Definitely.
preserve but you want to preserve the personality in it, essentially?
That's,
And
you said it very beautiful, bro.
okay,
That's
man,
what
that's
we're
great.
about. That's what we're about. And I want to keep doing that. I want to make it bigger, because you saw, I don't know if you saw how Masaleni went viral on India TikTok.
Oh no,
So
India TikTok?
that,
No.
yeah, it's true. Like it's
Okay.
crazy. Yeah, they loved it, man. They loved it. And it went on 50 Spotify viral India playlists.
Unbelievable.
Um, yeah, top 50 songs. So that was a great success. It wasn't like the biggest hit in our market. It was a
Mhm.
great song. Like
It was.
it was a, like, yeah, but nothing compared to our other songs, other singles. But it was whatever. But like they embraced it in India. They loved it. So and that's where I realized, okay, I'm making music for everyone.
Everyone.
For like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like not only for Persian people.
And I remember even like at the TM Bax concert in DC, my parents came to it and they were sitting in the front row on the side the whole time. And I know that they thoroughly enjoyed it too. Like the beat is fun and upbeat. And there is really no greater time in the history of the world that we need this positivity, that we need this beautiful mixture of both the Persian melodies and instruments, and as well as something that appeals to the international audience,
Exactly.
because we
And
want to unite.
yeah, exactly, bro. It's about building bridges, and I love it. Like all these, we call it like it's called Desi people. All these Desi people started like
Indians,
DMing
yeah.
us, and we don't understand what you're saying, but we love it.
Yeah, man. That's
And that's
what
we're
music is,
all
a universal language.
exactly, bro. And now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is the best time, because you hear so like artists like J Balvin. None of my friends understand
hmm
Spanish, but we get
hmm
his vibe.
Oh yeah, I was about to
Um,
say all the Latin wave has taken over.
yeah, and it's very Latin. It's not Enrique. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's so now is the time, and I'm not. I don't want to talk about um what I'm busy with at the moment. I think it's too soon, but I'm definitely making some moves, and it's a bit early to talk about it. But and that was also one of the reasons why I had a meeting with Sony Denmark, and I told them, after Masaleni, like, guys, I would love to make Danish music. I think we have to pause it a little bit, because I have bigger dreams now,
Nice,
and
man.
it's hopefully it's possible.
So you're basically making the TM Bax version of Chronic. You're gonna be like Dr. Dre with the pen and the pad and the lab, and you guys are working up something very, very special for the international audience. And
We're trying.
I'm excited.
That's our thought with every track we put out. But of course, you can like tune it up a little bit more when the audience gets bigger.
Well, I have a feeling that you would be excited for that collaboration in the future. And I genuinely believe that if any Iranian artist can work with the likes of Dr. Dre and the Timbalands, it would be you, my friend, because you deserve to be on top of that stage, with the
Thank you, brother.
greatest in the world, and unifying people through your beautiful music. I mean,
That's what
I,
it's about.
I can't wait to see what the next project is. Thank you for being so just such a good person, man. And like, you know, God bless your family and
Dude,
parents
thank you.
that were raising you guys. And I'm honored to know you. And you truly are an awesome person. And so is Nabil, so is Shaheen.
Sorry.
And I hope that you guys continue to always remember the true root of your relationship, whether it's you and your brother and Shaheen, and never let anything that's business related come in between you guys, because I don't want to think of a day where you guys aren't together. So keep on rocking.
Thank you, brother.
And be well, and can't wait to see you in your studio with the day-old pizza.
Thank you, Iman. Thank you for having me, bro. Keep
love.
doing what you do. I support you. So
Thank
happy
you.
you texted me, brother.
Thank you, man.
And
be well. We'll see you
having me.
soon.
For sure.
Take care, homie.
Take care.
Oh, and play the EE commercial, Trey. Much love.